folks, I also want to say thank you so much for your support. And as a way for me to show my appreciation, I want to give away some free Amazon gift cards to you guys. So all you have to do is be sure to subscribe and continue watching this video, because I'll be revealing the code for this free Amazon $60 free Amazon gift card. All you gotta do is just continue watching this video, and when you do redeem the Amazon gift card code, be sure to do so in the checkout aisle. Now, Joe Biden has announced his new action plan to tackle the biggest issues in the country. Several changes are expected to be made very soon to Medicare and Social Security. New rebates worth as much as $800 have also been approved. And I'll be going over what you need to know about the fourth stimulus check, everybody, so make sure to continue watching. Because during a recent speech, Joe Biden unveiled his administration's proposal to increase taxes on the wealthy Americans, including the millionaires and billionaires, and to tax the rich and unburden the middle class is Biden's pitch on his tax increase, which also includes raising corporate taxes. Because according to the Tax Foundation, Biden's administration latest proposal seeks to impose a 25% wealth tax on households to earn $100 million or more, hike the Medicare tax rate on individuals earning $400,000 or more, and increase the corporate tax. Biden's proposed tax increase on wealthy Americans is just one of the things that corporations pull as well, and one survey found that the majority of Americans do support this. Now, Biden said during his State of the Union address that taxing the rich could be a way to save Medicare and Social Security, which he said that some Republicans want to do away with. Biden's proposed billionaire tax also includes millionaires. It will be a huge increase from 8.2%, the percentage of federal income tax paid by the wealthy from 2010 to 2018. Meanwhile, a data report found that the richest Americans pay a tax rate of only 3.4%, and Biden's budget proposal is unlikely to get much of a hearing in a divided Congress, but it does set the stage for his 2024 presidential run. There are changes that have been made to state taxes. The two tax rebates were signed into law by the Montana governor, and the individual income tax rebate is $1,200 for one person and $2,000 for double people. Not only that, folks, but listen to this. There's a ton more information that you have to know, so continue watching this video. First of all, the property tax rebate is up by $500 a year of property taxes on the principal residents paid for 2022 and 2023. Individuals should also check for eligibility, and will have to apply for the rebate online or with a paper form. Taxpayers may claim the 2022 rebate or by paper from beginning August 15th, and the deadline is October 1st, 2023, friends. But Joe Biden released a first-of-its-kind U.S. Ocean Climate Action Plan, which he said will harness the tremendous power of the ocean to help in the fight against the climate crisis. Speaking at the White House Conservation in Action Summit, Biden said, "We can reduce emissions by building offshore wind farms, better protect our coastal and fishing communities from worsening storms and changes in fisheries and other impacts on climate change." Early in March, the UN reached the first high seas treaty to protect biodiversity in international waters, and that treaty has not been ratified yet. He also pledges to protect 30% of the world's ocean areas. The treaty will be first international law very, very soon to offer some protection to nearly a third of the ocean that is beyond the control of surrounding nations. It will become law after it's ratified by the national government for at least 60 countries. This committee is a White House-level group assigned to manage the environmental and economic health of the ocean. It created the plan, and it's very important that this happens.
Confounding problems facing millions of Americans, the skyrocketing costs of insulin. Making insulin more affordable is a top priority for Democrats. So right now there are bipartisan talks underway, led by Senators Shaheen and Collins, to cap insulin at $35 a month and make changes to drive the cost down in a comprehensive way. I intend to put a proposal on the floor as soon as we can after Easter. There should be nothing remotely partisan about making sure Americans don't go broke to manage their diabetes. So Democrats are eager to work wherever we can on legislation that will cap insulin at $35 a month and give millions a long overdue break at the pharmacy. It's reported that at least 1 in 4 insulin users have to ration their use of insulin because they can't afford it. The exponential price and the cost of insulin is truly one of the most frustrating trends of the past 2 decades. This is a drug with no patent on which millions of Americans rely.
And invite Republicans to join in supporting his proposal aimed at protecting benefits and improving the program. A new analysis of government data conducted by the Washington Post found that the crisis economy has created some of the strongest incentives to retire in modern history. At the same time, many of those who are retiring are also waiting to claim their benefits to ensure bigger monthly checks. An analysis of the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics found that the number of workers who applied Social Security benefits in the 12 months ending in September declined 5% from the same period the prior year. That's a big drop. Now, there's some shocking news. Republican leaders have proposed a brand new relief program. This legislation would allocate billions of dollars towards a fourth round of stimulus checks. Now, these payments will be worth around $3,000. And now there's a new proposal that was announced by Senate Republican lawmakers. It will revive the child tax credit. It will be increasing the full credit from $2,000 to $4,200. And the program, however, would fall short compared to the 2021 child tax credit under the American Rescue Plan, which gave the same credit for children both low and higher income families. The Senate proposal, everybody, would only give the full credit to families earning at least $10,000. And while the Senate plan would fill and lift an estimated 2.6 million children above the poverty line, families with low and moderate incomes would have to pay more than half the cost of the credit expansion. The Senate plan is a new iteration of the old program previously pushed by Democrats for expansion. Now it comes from Mitt Romney, Richard Burr, and Steve Daines of Montana. And this week, Democrats took the big steps towards actually passing the slimmed-down version of the nearly $2 trillion plan that Joe Manchin initially opposed last year. Chuck Schumer has just asked a Senate parliamentarian to review a proposed agreement that aims to reduce the cost of prescriptions by allowing Medicare to negotiate prices directly. And now, this is a long-sought Democratic priority that Senator Manchin supports. That is one major component of a deal Schumer and Manchin have been discussing that would include hundreds of billions of dollars to combat climate change. And the good news is that the source familiar with the talks say that the deal could be ready for votes on the Senate floor very soon. They've described the development as a major progress toward enacting a big chunk of President Biden's program before the elections. And with no Republican support, Democrats need a parliamentarian to determine whether the proposal can qualify for the process known as reconciliation, which would avoid an unexpected filibuster and allow a bill to pass with a simple majority. A second Democratic aide told reporters that the deal would probably take several weeks. It is really great that we are actually seeing Congress take action on Biden's social spending bill. And I know many Americans have been waiting for lawmakers to move forward with this. Schumer,
for your service and for being here today. Speaking of horrible statistics, this country is 38th out of 41 industrialized countries in the world in terms of the scale of our childhood poverty. The poorest people living in the United States are our children, and for one brief shining moment, for 6 months, thanks to your efforts and the efforts of your employees at Treasury, we expanded the child tax credit based on the bill that I wrote with Senator Brown, cut childhood poverty in this country almost in half, benefited 90% of the kids in this country, reduced hunger in the United States by 25%. It's hard to think of anything, Mr. Chairman, that we've done here in generations that has made